Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Katelyn from Referrals.com and welcome back for another process video. Today I'm scrapbooking these two photos of my dog who was taking a quick dip into the water, which he definitely shouldn't have, but he did anyway. And when I did my video about pulling out photos for this kit, I did talk about this little black swan paper, which I thought would be perfect for these photos. And if you guys don't know, I do have a bunch of videos linked down below in case you guys are interested in seeing what my kit contained this month. The photos I pulled out are DIY embellishment clusters we made together, and we'll even be using one of those today. So make sure you check out the link down below. But I can hardly believe it's already the end of March, so this will be one of the last videos you see from me about this kit. But if you're interested in seeing what else I've made with this kit so far this month, you can head over to Patreon where all of my extra process videos go, and you can get more content over there. But for today's layout, I wanted to do a little bit of mixed media, and if you guys were here a few months ago when I did my minimal mixed media at the end of last year, there was a lot of desire to see that keep going, so I think I will eventually bring it back. But for now I'm using this Acrytones in the Tartar color from Shimmers, and it is just a very thick black paint. And what I really wanted to do was make this a little bit more of a grungy page, and this is a technique a lot of people used back when vintage was popular, and it's essentially a dry brush. So down here I'm creating a little shelf for my photo and then using like the dry bristles when there's not a ton of paint left to create those streaks up at the top. So here's a close-up, a little bit of that, and this paint does create quite a bit of a texture, especially with the brush I used, which wasn't my normal brush. I just couldn't find it. I'm still not fully unpacked with all my craft supplies, so I just used whatever brush I could find. And again, that's from Shimmers, and I'll have Shimmers linked down below in case you guys want to check out some of their products and if you're looking for mixed media. But like I said, I wanted more of a grungy look for this, so I ended up pulling out this Jen Hadfield washi tape strip, which is this cute little wood grain color. It's not super dark, and I wanted to make a secondary shelf up here as well. So something I often do is repeat different motifs and elements throughout my page in multiple sections. So to help build out this shelf, I wanted to use a washi strip to sort of solidify that, and then also create a shelf in the top left for what could be a place to put my title, journaling, or just another embellishment cluster. And this is a great way to help balance out a page where you're putting your photos somewhat in the middle, but they don't take up enough room for your liking, so you wanted to help supplement that. And then I start pulling in my stash because I didn't create a full kit. I didn't have any like 6x6 paper pads or anything, so I pull out this 6x6 paper pad from the Conservatory collection from Craftsmith, and I end up pulling out two scrap pieces of this. It's not exactly black, but it's like dark gray polka dot with gold foil piece, and I also pull out this light pink butterfly piece. Now at this point I'm not sure what I want to use for essentially for the layers under my photos. So this is where I started. I started with some scraps, so I pulled out these two elements and cut them to the same size so I could have a full 12-inch strip if I wanted of this gold polka dot. And I really like the idea of bringing gold in, especially for these photos, because of how much brown is in there. And then again, golden retrievers naturally have those gold tones throughout their fur, so I definitely wanted to pull that out as well. And here's where I start unassembling and reassembling and trying to make it all work. Now, when you're using elements like washi tape or anything over mixed media, you do need to add extra adhesive, and I do use a liquid glue later on to add some extra adhesive under there because it definitely needed it because it was struggling to stay put because of how much texture was on the paper. Now, I did find two scraps of this butterfly paper, and I also have one full 6x6 sheet, so I end up matting the one photo completely with the butterfly because I really like that dusty pink to help bring out more of those warm tones that are in the woods and the water and their fur in these photos, and make it work in terms of just adding another element to the color scheme. And one thing that I also know is because of the kit I've built, the Maggie Home sticker book, for example, has a ton of pink in it as well, so using that as an element, knowing I wanted to embellish with it later. So I'll trim that mat out, and the way I trim it leaves me with a second scrap of this butterfly paper that I can utilize for the other photo. So just trimming that out, because again, I do like that dusty pink color, and since I do have another cutoff that's pretty small, I end up thinking about using it in that top left cluster, again for that repeatability that a lot of people like on layouts. It's just about reusing those little bits and pieces you may have from your offcuts and what it may be. So since I do have those pink offcuts from the 4x6 mat as well as a scrap, I end up wanting a full layer underneath this photo first anyhow. So I go for a black cardstock mat and for the life of me I could not glue it on straight, so I actually do have to switch it up a few times and add extra adhesive. And another thing I need to do is write down the date before I glued these down and forgot when they were taken. So I do both of those things, get it on somewhat straight, and then start trimming it out. And then I can use the offcuts to create some half sort of layers. So I'm going to put glue directly on the back of this and then line them up, one on each side. I could have done top and bottom because with this particular pattern you can't really tell which way the butterflies go, but I prefer the left and right just to be, you know, so the butterflies actually stack in the right direction. And that is it for the layers on my photos, but I do use that little bit in the top left as an element for that cluster. Again, it might be home for just embellishment, it could be home for the title, it could be home for journaling, lots of options. So as I glue all of this down, I know I need a lot of adhesive because we are taping over some mixed media. Even though it's just something simple like thick paint, it can still cause some issues with adhering and making sure it stays forever. And I of course need to pull out my T-square to make sure it's quite straight, because with things like mixed media it can often dilute how your eye appears things to be straight, and I just wanted to make sure it was in place. And there's that adhesive, like I was saying, whenever you're gluing on top of mixed media, you usually want to use either multiple adhesives if you can, so like a liquid and a tape adhesive together, but definitely for things that have pre-made stickiness, you need to add a lot more because it just doesn't hold on as well as it should. I also reach into my stash to grab this little flare piece from Scrap and Happy Studio. I know it's not traditional to include a lot of black and brown together, but with these colors in these photos, it worked out really well. And then this is where I end up bringing in the yellow, and you guys might remember this cluster from a previous video we did earlier this month. But this is based off of some stickers from the Heidi Swap sticker sheet from Emerson Lane. So I end up pulling up another yellow piece from that, which is just a label, and I put that in the top left for some journaling. And then I pull out some of the phrase stickers to again bring in that like baby pink color, that dusty pink that's in the layers of the photos. So I really like how this is summing up here. So we have a little cluster to the right, a little cluster to the left, coming in with some more of these butterflies from Illustrated Faith since they're already in the embellishment cluster on the right hand side. Now I did take some time to Google the date for this particular photo set to see if it was indeed the weekend, and as you guys probably guessed it, it was not. I don't think it matters too much to say when the stickers don't necessarily 100% match what's going on the page. It was a Monday, so close enough to a weekend. Maybe it was a holiday weekend. I didn't search that hard, but it definitely was worth it for me to put Hello Weekend because, you know, it's a dog's life. Every day's the weekend for a pup. So I think it still ends up working in my favor, and I like how it turned out nonetheless, especially since I made this embellishment cluster and loved the shape of it. Such a different, unique shape that I have never done before and really wanted to stick with it. And as we mentioned in the embellishment cluster video, I like to take things and elevate the embellishment clusters after the fact. So in order to incorporate this into this page, using butterflies throughout the rest of the page and actually using some more of that Heidi Swap yellow color in other sections of the page really helped make it feel like it was part of this and meant to be a part of it. And again, I think that yellow color goes really, really super well with the actual photo colors because of all the neutrals and those deeper yellow colors in there, again, their fur and the wood behind them. So I think it ends up working in the end, and I cannot get over how adorable this background paper is, and I still have another sheet of it, so there's still time for me to use it again at some point. But for now, we're working on the title, and I go through a couple different fonts because I wasn't sure what I wanted, and I also did not know what I wanted for the title. But as you guys know from the title of this video, I ended up going with the words quick dip because he would go in just for a little bit, come out sopping wet. So like there was no like time investment. You know, as humans, we usually like get in the pool and stay for a bit because it's like if you're getting wet, you might as well enjoy it and use it up and have some fun. But he's in and out, and then he's sopping wet. So I end up using this Fiskars font, which I think works really well with the theme. Just a cute little font, nothing too crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this layout. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Again, a little bit of mixed media to make this like a grungier look. We had another butterfly just to have, again, I ended up using all of the yellow butterflies, so pure yellow butterflies because there are some mixed ones. But I do like how this turned out. I think it's fun and simple, and hopefully you guys do too. But if you did enjoy, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And don't forget to check out the links down below in case you guys are interested in checking out more videos over on Patreon or the ones you might have missed from earlier this month. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys!